Evolutionists are on the run. In 2012, Mark Armitage from Cal State Northridge discovered a fossilized Triceratops horn in only 4,000-year-old strata. Even more shocking, after breaking the fossil open, he discovered abundant original soft tissues were still present, proving that the Triceratops horn could not possibly be millions of years old. When Armitage published his results in the peer-reviewed journal Acta Histochemica, Cal State Northridge immediately turned against him, terminating him from his position teaching there. This time, the Creationist fought back. Armitage took the university to court and sued them. When the overconfident university asked for a summary verdict from the court, the judge was not impressed by their tactics, and they were forced to pay Armitage almost $400,000. And they still won't give him his due credit. So why are these supposed scientists squelching this renowned researcher for just showing the truth? I had to investigate. Having previously worked for the Olympus Corporation of America and Carl Zeiss, Mark Armitage had been selling and maintaining microscopes since 1984 and had even patented an optical inspection device in 1993. Armitage also managed a working electron microscopy laboratory at the Institute for Creation Research in San Diego, which he relocated to the Creation Research Society Van Andel Creation Research Center in Arizona. In 2008, he published a book called Jesus is Like My Scanning Electron Microscope. A scientist looks at his relationship with a creator. In late 2009, the California State University campus at Northridge had amassed an impressive microscopy lab including a cryostat, a tissue processor, and a confocal microscope. They decided to create a new part-time position maintaining the equipment lab and decided the best person for that position was the person who sold them many of their microscopes in the first place, Mark Armitage. He was not hired for a teaching position as neither his BS or EDS in education nor his MS in parasitology were valid, being awarded by the non-accredited Liberty University and the equally non-accredited Institute for Creation Research, respectively. In May of 2012, a Triceratops brow horn was reportedly excavated in Montana's Hell Creek Formation by Armitage, paleontologist Otis Kline Jr., and microbiologist Kevin Anderson, whom Armitage had worked with since 2003. It was reportedly the largest Triceratops horn ever excavated from the area. 2 horn samples were sent to the University of Georgia Center for Applied Isotope Studies for carbon-14 dating, which yielded an estimated date of 33,570 plus or minus 120 years for the first sample and 41,010 plus or minus 220 years for the second. The truly unexpected discovery, however, was the appearance of unfossilized soft tissues within. Armitage and Anderson then used Armitage's association with the CSU campus while publishing his account of the discovery, accepted in January of 2013 in the peer-reviewed journal Acta Histochemica, to be published in their July issue, making no mention of any creationist implications. According to Armitage, soon after, a professor on campus allegedly stormed into Armitage's lab and told him emphatically, "We are not going to tolerate your religion in this department." Armitage claims to have brought this to the attention of the head of technical services and was ignored. Soon after, Armitage claims he was informed that the department was holding a secret meeting which he described as a witch hunt. On February 27th of that year, the university terminated Armitage's position, citing budget cuts. In February of 2014, Armitage filed a complaint with the Los Angeles Superior Court, alleging that the position was permanent and charging the campus with religious discrimination stemming from his journal paper, claiming that the real reason he was terminated is that faculty scientists didn't want to be associated with a published creationist. The complaint outlined 4 actionable offenses by the university. The first was a general discrimination charge as defined by the Fair Employment and Housing Act. The second was wrongful termination. The third was a failure to investigate the charge of discrimination, and the fourth was for free speech retaliation. The university defended itself by claiming that they were unaware of Armitage's religious affiliation, being that the paper he published made no creationist implications whatsoever and wasn't made publicly available for the staff to read until it was actually published the July after the termination. The university reiterated their claim that the position was both temporary and non-tenurable. The evidence evidence for this was that the position had not been filled, nor any similar one in the 2 years since his dismissal. The lab had fallen into increasing disuse, and its electron microscopes were in the process of being decommissioned, making Armitage's position completely unnecessary. Ultimately, it was the position itself that was being terminated, and Armitage would not be appropriate for any other position there. A jury trial was set to begin on August 22, 2016, but trial lawyers are expensive, so the university opted to file for a summary judgment to, hopefully, eliminate all the charges, but specifically numbers 2 and 4, which were the only charges for which Armitage could be awarded money from the university. On July 22nd of that year, Judge Delilah C. Lyons ruled in favor of the university for charges 2 and 4. Even Armitage and his lawyer consented to dismiss the charge that the university was guilty of wrongful termination, but the court found that they had not established that there was any free speech retaliation. Both went in CSUN's favor, as well as the denial of any punitive damages. This left the charges of individual discrimination and failure to investigate a charge of discrimination, neither of which refers to any monetary compensation from the university. The two sides were able to reach a settlement of $399,500. Armitage immediately took to YouTube to proclaim a legal victory, stating that he now had evolutionists on the run. Other creationist sites joined in and even claimed that he had won in court. In reality, the court didn't award Armitage anything. This was a negotiation outside of court between CSUN and Armitage's lawyer, Alan Reinach. While CSUN felt it had the ability to refute the charges, they were also painfully aware of the cost of their legal team. Even if they won the suit, the cost of paying attorneys to go to trial would be astronomical. Armitage was unable to claim damages from the university in either case, so instead, he chose a settlement that he had to share with his very high-profile lawyer. On the advice of his attorney, Armitage revised his public statement, and in an interview, Reinach acknowledged that there was no admission of guilt in the statement, but he believed that the university wouldn't pay a large amount if it didn't think it would lose the case. This actually parallels a common tactic small businesses face regularly. An all-too-common tactic of predatory lawsuits is to sue for just the right amount of money, that it becomes less expensive to merely pay off the frivolous litigator than to pay a lawyer's fees to defend you. Since in the US you do not have a right to free representation in civil cases, and usually the plaintiff has no money to recoup from, the cost of defending yourself comes directly out of your own pocket, whether you win or lose. Reinach's assessment ignores this reality. Incidentally, the scientific impact of Armitage's discovery has been remarkably minimal. Contrary to popular claims, this would not have been the first time preserved soft tissue was discovered in an ancient fossil. Armitage himself has cited several examples of soft tissue discoveries in recent years, the most notable of which was Mary Schweitzer's T-Rex femur, which ignited recent interest in preserved dinosaur soft tissues. Up until then, scientists were aware of preserved soft tissues appearing in animals trapped in amber inclusions from deposits that were even older than dinosaurs, but the significance of Schweitzer's work was that the find was preserved via permineralization. Armitage's work would simply be a revisiting of Schweitzer's work, except that he also made some very unique claims. Most notable of these claims was the appearance of verifiably original soft tissues, particularly osteocytes and fiber-like sheets of bone adhering to vessels. Even as recently as September of 2020, Armitage continues to publish about the horn, now claiming the discovery of vessels and blood cells in another sample of the same horn, as well as other finds in his collection. This should be an open and shut case for a recent origin of this Triceratops horn, but there are lingering doubts stemming from its discovery. The location of the find is yet to be accurately presented. Typically, a researcher will provide intricate detail of the location of the find, including maps of the location so that future researchers can visit that same location for further examination. This allows for confirmation of the presumed date of the find as well as the environment it's found in. Even some of the supposed frauds that have been debunked, like Nebraska Man for example, were exposed because they were presented with detailed information about where they were discovered. It's simply the honest way to publish, even if you're wrong. Armitage identified the area of the find as a well-sorted fluvial sandstone within the Hell Creek Formation at a previously unexcavated site on a private ranch within the Hell Creek Formation. This gives us an area of over 1,000 square kilometers to search, but he also gave us the following as coordinates. A portion of land located at east 1/2 of the southwest 1/4 of the northeast 1/4, section 14, T15 north, R56 east, Dawson County, Glendive, Montana, USA. I challenge you to make sense of that. Kevin Anderson stated that the horn was found in the Baisch Range. While there is no Baisch Range in the Hell Creek Formation, there is a private ranch called Baisch's Dinosaur Digs which is open to the public in Glendive, Montana, and seems to have no association with this discovery. Otis Kline offered yet another alleged location in the Billings Gazette, stating that the team discovered the Triceratops Horn on his own private ranch where he built his Creationist museum. Both Baisch's Dinosaur Digs and Otis Kline's museum are located in the Fort Union Formation, which also consists of Cretaceous fossils, but the area also contains far more recent fossils such as bison or buffalo. The area was once known for its herds of bison and was even used by ancient Native American hunters as a buffalo jump spot. Without any way of knowing the actual location of the dig, there is no way to confirm the stratigraphic age of the site. The dating of the area is something that should have either been detailed in the paper or cited as a reference. This calls into question whether or not the find was indeed a Triceratops horn or merely a bison horn. In fact, the first Triceratops horn ever discovered was initially identified and described as a large bison by Othniel Marsh in 1887 before correcting his analysis 2 years later. How Armitage's team determined that the horn was from a Triceratops has not been sufficiently explained, as none of the party had any expertise in taxonomy and have published no record of examination by anyone who has. Armitage himself has claimed that the major difference between bison and Triceratops horns is that Triceratops horns are solid and bison horns are hollow sleeves of keratin. In fact, bison horns are sleeves of keratin, but they rest over bone. This should have been an area of focus after samples from the fossil were dated by Alexander Cherkinski at the University of Georgia at up to 41,000 years, which would again be consistent with a bison horn but inconsistent with a dinosaur even from a creationist view. This may explain why Armitage decided to publish in Acta Histochemica, as a paleontology journal would have picked up on all of this immediately. Other than pictures on the microscopic level, we have only one photo of the complete horn. There are no pictures of the horn after extracting it from the site or in the lab. In fact, this isn't even a picture of the horn in question. This is a photo of an actual fossil bison horn that went for 1,875 pounds at a Christie's auction in 2013. As you can see, it resembles Armitage's find almost exactly, as opposed to these fossilized horns from an actual Triceratops horridus. When Mary Schweitzer discovered preserved soft tissue in a T-Rex femur, she was examining material from deep within a bone that was sealed away from the elements, being encased in rock. Even then, she only found minuscule amounts of isolated microscopic material. According to Armitage, the material he found was near the surface of a significantly smaller fossil, exposed to the elements, and still appeared in great abundance. This is extraordinary and demands corroboration. In that vein, when Mary Schweitzer published her paper, she was quite aware that she was challenging some preconceptions and was prepared to allow access to the find to other scientists for examination. Case in point, when Thomas Kaye hypothesized that the material Schweitzer found was actually a bacterial biofilm, she made a raw sample available to him for examination so he could test his hypothesis. This is basic scientific courtesy. While there is some speculation that Armitage has stated he completely destroyed the horn while testing it, in my own investigation, it appears that he is only referring to destroying a sample, not the entire horn. In any case, to date, Armitage has not made this find available for independent analysis, nor has he published any other pictures of the horn or made any plaster casts as of the upload date of this video. We have no way of verifying that these images even come from this horn. In the end, Armitage shook down a university for a settlement instead of attempting to set a legal precedent for unsubstantiated claims of discrimination that even the judge found dubious, stemming from the discovery of a horn of unknown classification, as documented by one single picture from an unknown location that nobody else is allowed to examine. Apparently, we're all supposed to suspend any scientific rigor and just take Armitage at his word, even if the find were genuine, by doing everything in exactly the wrong way, showing exactly why scientific protocols exist. Armitage's discovery and subsequent legal drama are perfect examples of how creationism taught me real science. If there's a creationist argument you think I should investigate, please comment below. It may become the basis for a future episode. In the meantime, subscribe and make sure you don't miss it.